Impacted! We are impacted! Impacted! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power and make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and welcome back to Impacted 141, coming to you live via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. And if you listen to us on the go, we're also available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your favorite shows, we are there. I'm your host, Bison, and today I am joined by the one and only, coming to us from the void, the Joker. Hello, brother. You all right?
My microphone is not. No, it's fine. I'm fine, thank you.
Nice, mate. I give you the big build. And we get silence.
Oh no, it's saying that my microphone was on mute when.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're not on mute now. But I don't know whether you can tell, but I don't know if you've noticed, but the chat is full of a special guest today. Of course, the Boomer. The Boomer Bison is in the house, and she's just saying hello to me, obviously, and hello to Joe. So it's nice to see the Boomer. So we do need to be careful, guys, right? So we've got to watch what we say. You got to remember she's only 10, right? So be careful what you say. She's obviously joined us in the chat today, so it's nice to see her, isn't it? Yeah. Hello, David Gibson, and I think we've got Mira in the chat as well already. As well as Bonkers, who is going to be, looks like it's going to be Bully Ray's partner, which is good to see. Who else? Keith's in the house. Nice to see Keith Goldman in the house as well. So already the chat is filled. Simon Plum. Simon's with us as well, joining us on, of course, the Twitch. It's nice to get a few people coming in on the Twitch, isn't it?
Yes, I see.
Most people enjoy it, so normally on the YouTube in the chat, but it's nice to see a few people join us on the Twitch. That's really good.
The Twitch numbers have been going up quite recently over the past few weeks. It's just good to see.
Oh, so we're getting there. People to join us on the Twitchosphere. I like to call it the Twitchosphere, but which is pretty cool. It's nice to see you guys join us all the way from Twitch. But yeah, so we've got a hell of a show planned for you guys today. So without further ado, without further ado, I want to get slap bang in the middle of obviously some of the news, rumors, and of course a little Impact recap of the week. We've not got nothing massive in here, guys, but we've just got a few things that we're going to talk about that have occurred over the last week. So the latest episode of Wild On this week is featuring Emily J. Now, I don't know if you managed to catch this one. Unfortunately, I haven't. But I'm a big fan of the Wild On show, big fan of Taylor Wilde. So make sure you go and check that one out. Have you seen it, Joe?
No, I haven't.
Joe, can you hear me? Joe, focus on me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. We're having a conversation.
Can you hear me, yeah?
So if I ask you a question, you need to reply. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So, right. So, guys, I appreciate that, Barry. I do. I appreciate that much because obviously we've got the Boomer Bison in the chat, so we do have to be careful. Yeah, we've got to be a little bit, shall we say PG? We've got a little bit PG today, right? So anyway. Look at her. She's loving it. She's putting lots of stuff in there. Let's see. She's all up for it now. But anyway, so Wild On this week featuring Emily J. Have you seen it?
Yeah. No,
you have?
No, I've not seen Miss Taylor Wilde thing. No, I've not seen that. No.
Okay, right. But I always promote Wild On because I think it's a
Yeah.
really good show. I really enjoy it, so I like to always mention it, even if I haven't seen it. We've got another episode of My First Day on Impact Plus exclusive. That's this week. It's Deanna Perrazzo, so that's pretty good. I think recently we had Steve Macklin, so it was nice to get Deanna's perspective on this one as well. So if you haven't seen that, make sure and you're a subscriber to Impact Plus, you go and check that one out. The bad news is Steve Macklin is out of Slammiversary. We find out via Busted Open Radio, however, that Diener has beef with the boss too and will be Bully Ray's partner. What were your thoughts when you heard this one, Joe?
I thought Steve Macklin's injury was just something for kayfabe for Australia, so he wasn't going to get too battered first on the anniversary. But to know he's out of the match completely is sort of throwing the whole prospect of and hype for this match out the into a different zone now, and not in a positive way, given that who I think is going to be replacing PCO. So I'm gutted I'm gutted that Macklin was out. But even with PCO was still there, and Macklin and Dina and Bully Ray would have been amazing together. I was looking forward to that, but it's just, this match has gone from one of the matches I'm looking forward to the one I'm sure it's going to be good, but it's not got me invested anymore, and it's a shame because Slammiversary was building up to probably better than Rebellion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm a little bit, I don't know. I mean, Diener being added, I was
In the scrotissimus region.
Hey, watch it. I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest, because I was hoping that maybe Bully would bring in I don't know, maybe some sort of, I dare I say it, some sort of kind of an EC dub original, maybe, I don't know. Or at least maybe we could get someone that isn't already on the roster, possibly. He was going to bring someone in from the outside, would be interesting. But it's Diener. I don't really know where it's all come from. He's apparently got beef with the boss he's decided to speak out after 20 years, which is kind of a weird one, but he's decided to do that. But interesting match advertised for the Fallout TV tapings the day after Slam. Obviously, Darren McCarty being this special sort of kind of enforcer for the match at Slam, with Tommy Dreamer takes on Champagne Singh and Shearer. Now, where does that come from? Now, I mean, it could be that is just some random that Darren McCarty's gone, I want Tommy Dreamer on my team against you guys. He may have just randomly picked it. Or is there going to be some kind of implication that he's going to have some involvement with regards to Slammiversary? Now, I'm not, and of course that particular match, bearing in mind that Darren McCarty is going to be the guest enforcer in that match, how does it tie in with Tommy Dreamer? Now, that then leads us to think, oh my God, please no, please, dear God, no, Scott D'Amore, Tommy Dreamer cannot be your partner. You know what I mean? We can't have, you can't have two old bastards. It's
not so much that it's just questionable booking. It's like when they put Eli Drake and Scott Steiner together. It made no sense. And the whole thing with Dreamer and Bully Ray is meant to be over and done with now. And because PCO is out there bringing him in to push Macklin versus PCO back a bit more. They could have had someone better. I honestly thought Josh Alexander was going to come back and come back a bit earlier and step in with Scott D'Amore or Eric Young.
That's still a possibility. I mean, we're not saying that it is definitely Tommy Dreamer's is going to be
if Tommy's
partner,
involved.
I hope show it.
If Tommy's involved, I hope it's post match. He comes out after the match. Bully Ray's obviously not going to take losing, sitting down. So Bully Ray's going to lose, then just go nuts with a chair or something on Scott and everybody, probably even Dina. Dreamer come down then and try and settle things that way, that would be fine. But because I was really hoping that it would be Eric Young or Josh Alexander or even PC Williams, if they can get from WWE to come and team up with Scott D'Amore, seeing as PCO might be out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe PCO will actually just, will be fine. I mean, we know that he's not human, and there is a possibility that he'll be fine. I think that it just seems that they were eliminating him for a reason.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that reason, of course, is someone like, a former Team Canada mate, someone like an Eric Young, for instance, coming in, or maybe they're creating a newer Team Canada, so obviously someone like Josh Alexander takes his place, or because we weren't expecting that, but recently they've been showing Josh off again recently, reminding us of what a badass he is. So there's a lot of those sort of things going on. But the question here has to be, who is that partner going to be? Well, I guess we'll talk about that a little later, but Tommy Dreamer. We were friends. We just don't need Tommy Dreamer on our TV in matches. I don't mind in the backstage segments or whatever, but we do not need Tommy Dreamer in the ring. We just don't. There's too many great talents. There's too many great young talents on the Impact roster to be wasting TV time on a 50-plus-year-old geezer. It's just not necessary. But we'll just have to wait and see. Now, also advertised for the Fallout TV tapings, we've got Santino Marella versus Dirty Estangios. So Dirty Dango versus Santino has also been advertised. Now, I actually think this one will be really good. I'm looking forward to this, actually, because I think Dango has been doing some amazing stuff. I've got to talk about his promo stuff next, because his hatred for pro wrestling.
That's disgusting.
Well, and it is disgusting. But the fact that we've got Dirty Dango versus Santino in that set table, I think that's good. Again, I didn't see that as a pay-per-view match, so I'm glad it's going to be on the TV tapings. And maybe, of course, again, good storytelling from Impact Wrestling, where they're almost building up some stories to follow into the TV tapings without actually, it could be that we see some more storytelling at BTI. Obviously, the BTI match coming up this tomorrow night is interesting as well. We've had the Dirty Dango defeated. Who did he defeat last week? He defeated someone last week. Who was it?
He beat Joe Hendry and Yuya Uemura.
That's right. Okay, so they beat them. So that he's been on a bit of a roll. So we need to see how it goes. But we're doing well. Oh, look, see, the boomer is that I am a chef. I help Mum to put Son of Bison's pizza in and my chips. There you go. Look at that. See, she's helping Mum, which is good to see. So what do you think? What are your thoughts, Joe, on the Dirty Dango promos and his hatred for pro wrestling? What do you think on these? Because I know that the American TNI crew love it. So what are your thoughts on this?
I love it. I think it's brilliant. It reminds me of Matt Hardy did something similar in Ring of Honor, where it's like, you don't know what it's like to be me, and everyone's against me because I'm so rich and I'm so great, and it's just sort of like destroying the fans because they're not in his position and they think they're better than him, and although he's acting like he's better than everybody else. I think it's brilliant the way he's just mocking everybody, especially with the use of social media and mocking all the people who badmouthed him in the past on the internet, and the way he's just turning that against everyone is hilarious and really cleverly put together.
Yeah, I think it's good. I like the way they've been. I like the way they've been promoting him, and that they're making him, like when he's wearing like the holy t-shirts and stuff like that, they're making him look like like this just shabby sort of kind of like shabby down and out loser kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think it's good. I think it's cool, and I'm up for it, and I like the way that they're putting Santino, versus Dango. I think it's going to be really good. I'm excited for this. It's been building up quite nicely. A lot of people are like, oh, Dango, what a load of shit. But actually, this sort of darker side to him, this Healy side to him, I really like it. I'm down with it. So I'm looking forward to it, definitely. So bonus, babe, what are you saying? Wait, why were we trying to come up with wrestling names for Boomer Bison? Scarlet Hawk sounds like a killer wrestling name. Well, yeah, that is a pretty good name. I must admit, we do have a good name. Maybe she could be just called Scarlet. I don't know. Scarlet Dreams, something like that. I don't know. She's pretty cool though. She is pretty cool. Now David's asking, do we think that Santino's daughter will actually show up at Slammiversary? Well, I think she's signed to WWE, am I right? Or I thought she had a developmental deal there. So I know she was at the training center and that, but I'm not sure if anything has come from it from there. I don't know if she's on NXT or anything like that. Okay,
but still.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to throw something in there because people still talk about Tommy Dreamer in there. I still believe it's Eric Young. I think it's a returning Eric Young.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw that one out there. I think it's going to be Eric Young comes in for PCO. There was a reason they were taking PCO out.
Yeah,
I think that's why. I think because they need to bring in. They need to, big shock, big surprise. Eric Young's in the house. I think they'll get a pop from that as well. But here's another one. Lio Rush. I thought he stood out in the Impact Tag Team main event last week. Not only did he stand out, but he also has been bigging up Impact Wrestling as a place to be this past week. I saw it mentioned on Fightful. So there's, I know there's a lot of people are down on him, but we'll see. Simon, this is the thing. Nobody actually knows whether he's signed to WWE. It was never even announced that he was signed to WWE. And even if he was, where has he been? So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be a good, strong possibility. For me, he finished up with Impact Wrestling. He went off and he's just gone off and done loads of hockey stuff, which is his second love. Second love of sport, as well as he's a big West Ham fan. So UK fans, I don't know if you're aware of that, but EY is a big West Ham fan. But there you go. Scarlett says she needs to disguise name because we'll wear a mask.
Yeah, she's going to. Yeah, she's taking inspiration from the Lion Kid.
There you go. No, she is. Yeah, you're right. And there you go. And yeah, he does. He runs an animal rescue center as well. So he's got a lot going on, EY. Why, to me, working an Impact Wrestling schedule makes sense to me because it's not as intense as AEW or WWE potentially. He could do all of his other things and still have a career in the wrestling business. So I don't know, it makes sense. But Lio Rush, I thought Lio stood out as being an absolute badass in the tag team main event.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. He's been so he's just fit in with Impact Wrestling like as if he's been there for ages. He's just got this natural buzz that I think if he's not signed, I hope he is after Slammiversary because he is absolutely incredible. I think Impact Wrestling would be a great place for him to start to build himself up in the US if that's what he's looking to do now that he's not at New Japan Pro Wrestling. If he's looking to set himself up in the US, then start off with Impact Wrestling and then stay there for a year or two, and then because it's the best place to do it. Everyone's said it, pretty much everyone's done it, although it's not worked out for everybody. Look at Brian Cage and Pentagon and Phoenix and Killer Cross, but still. Still, I think if Lio Rush signs in Impact Wrestling for a couple of years, he could take the whole company by storm. He'll be the X Division champion by the end of next year. Possibly he'll be in the world title contention pretty soon afterwards. He's got it all, and he's got such huge star power already just from what he's done
Yeah.
in Japan and across the world as an independent star. It's just so great to see. And to be honest, anyone could outshine Nick Aldis. So
true, I agree. Even grass growing can outshine Nick Aldis. Now, I just want to quickly answer something in the chat. Of course, being dead is a drawback for Eric returning. Well, nobody actually stated he was dead. Nobody saw him dead. All we saw was him being shanked. That's it, right? So he could have still lived. Just because he got knifed a couple of times, he could have lived. So there you go. There's your thing. And can I just
Ali
say,
died and she turned up in AEW.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. To be honest with you, I missed that, guys. I missed what Scott D'Amore possibly said about the UK yesterday. So if anybody wants to enlighten me on that one, I'll happily talk about it.
I read it. I read something about that yesterday. He's going off what's happened in Australia. He's looking forward to expanding. He's saying that going to places like the UK, Germany, and other places in Europe is something that he's looking to do with Impact Wrestling in the future, and the possibility of bringing Slammiversary to the UK next year is something that's crossed his mind, seeing as AEW and WWE have both brought an event to the UK this year. So why not bring Slammiversary to the UK next year?
Yeah, and that would be cool, wouldn't it?
It's just ideas he's floating around, and he went into detail about how he's been and wrestled in the UK. He's been and wrestled in Belfast, in Dublin, in Germany, Norway. He's been wrestled all over Europe, so he's got a huge reputation and everything and stuff there. Merit is what I was looking for. So if he wants to put spread Impact Wrestling out across Europe, he's got several places he can start to go from. And then he just praised the UK fans of how much they've been supporting Impact Wrestling when everyone else has been shitting on them.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. To be fair, we have been proper supporting them, haven't we, Joe?
Yeah,
we are the two biggest UK supporters of Impact Wrestling. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, now Slowpoke saying that the cost of travels is real though. If Impact has to choose between signing new talent, upgrading television product, or travel, I would choose travel last personally. Well, I don't know actually, because you have to think about increasing your reach as well. So your reach is just as important as any of those things that you're mentioning there, because the more fans that you reach, the more people get to see your product. Well, the more money you're going to generate, which means that obviously the production and talent can be signed and can be improved. So I don't know. I think I wouldn't necessarily totally 100% agree with that, Greg, but I do agree. Those are the three things that we need to look at. Production value. We need to look at signing more decent talent and coming to other places. Going to Australia is a big thing. Coming to the UK. And again, all they got to do is joint promote stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be like them solely. Like they did in Australia. That was like a joint promotion thing. It worked really well. So who knows where we can go with it? Hopefully they can come to the UK as much as possible. Would be good. I mean, that's what I say. Like David's true. Like if we can get the numbers they used to and get in the UK, it'd be well worth a travel cost. Totally agree. But I don't think they will get that straight away. So I've always thought start a little bit smaller and then gradually make it bigger. As the years progress, get bigger and bigger and bigger. We need to get a free to view TV deal. We need to get over here. That's what we need. And I'm not saying that it's the only way that people are going to watch it, because we can watch Impact Wrestling if we choose to. I just think that if you're going to reach a wider audience, it does need to be on a free to view channel in the UK. That's a fact, because that's how it grew numbers so well. The last time, because as much as WWE was on a premium channel, It was on the biggest premium channel at the time in the UK, Sky Sports. It was on Sky Sports, which was the biggest premium channel in the UK at the time for sport. You know, that's one thing. But then, of course, TNA was on Challenge. So it was on a free view that everyone could get. So everyone at the time thought, well, do you know what? Let's go and watch that. You know. AEW is viewed in the UK. I'm trying to think.
It's on ITV.
It's on because I don't watch it.
It's on ITV4. I think at like 10 o'clock at night on Sunday, and it's repeated on ITV1 at 11 o'clock at night.
And that's just Dynamite, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just Dynamite. And they have breaks of that are like 20 minutes in, so you miss about 15 minutes of each match. So you're better off just trying to find a feed from another website and watch the US broadcast and watch it from the UK.
Yeah, I agree. What's this? Oh, so they get shit. What's that? I've got it. Rampage Collision on it 4 as well now. Okay, so Rampage and Collision is on 4 now as well. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Channel 5 be good, and I've said that, you know, there are several channels here in the UK that would be really good for Impact Wrestling. You know, and they don't have to be your ITVs. They don't have to be your Channel 5s, Channel 4s, or your BBCs or anything like that. There's loads of really good free-to-view channels that have the right demographic for a wrestling show.
Yeah.
You know, there's loads out there that it could turn up on. But again, you know, people have to want it. That's the thing. It's not as easy to just go and get a TV deal. You know, I don't think people realize that it's actually a really hard thing to do.
Oh yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
There you go. So there's lots of things that we could talk about, we could go through and all that sort of stuff. But there you go. One last thing I wanted to talk about: Angels looked good, I thought, versus Gresham, and he finally leaves the design after losing to Gresham and then shaking his hand despite Dina ordering him not to, and then obviously he leaves the design, leaving Con absolutely gutted. That's what it looked like to me. What were your thoughts on this segment then, Joe, on Impact last week?
This was brilliant. We could see Angels was going to either smack Dina and walk away, or just say to him, "I've had enough." And this was the match was fantastic. Once again, he lost because Dina was just constantly distracting him more than anything else. It wasn't because, well, Gresham is an incredible wrestler. It's not because Angels was sloppy. It's more because Dina just kept distracting him and telling him what to do, etc., etc. So it was put together brilliantly. And Angels or Gresham are going to be winning this Ultimate X match. That's for sure. It's going to be one of those two. And because they put on a huge match last week, and so if it's not one of them, then I'm going to be really disappointed. Although I'd love to see Mike Bailey win.
I think it would be interesting if it was one of those two. Definitely. But Slowpoke, I need to tell you, right? If you love Con, then you need to go and check out the interview I did with him about 4 or 5 months ago. Go and check it out. It's really good. He's actually a genuinely lovely man. So go and check that out. TNI Curse is back. Design no more. True. But Kushida's in that match as well. We'll talk about that in a sec. But anyway, guys, let's get into this Slammiversary preview and predictions, because we're going to predict some stuff this week. We don't normally do the predictions thing, do we, Joe? But I thought, you know what? Let's add some predictions in this week. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's
go a bit old school.
Let's go a bit crazy. You know, let's go a bit crazy and throw a few predictions in there as well as a preview. So let's start with the countdown matches. So we've now got, as we found out this week, we've got the 6-person tag match between Jody Threat and the Death Dolls versus the Shorterage.
Because I'm sick!
She is sick. Jody Threat, good fit with the Death Dolls? What do you think? Joe, you're on mute. Take it off mute, mate.
It's muting it when the soundbite's coming on, and the soundbite's like playing like 12 seconds after I've clicked on it on my computer. So every time every time it's muted, it's because I've pressed the soundbite button to play.
Then you need to make sure you pop it back on, then, dude. Pop it back on. Right. So, what are your thoughts?
It's automatic. It's automatic. So it just does it.
Jodie Threat versus Death Doll. Is she a good fit for the Death Dolls? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it was a great choice, and I loved the promo they did to set it up with. Jodie Threat's another one who's just pissed off at Giselle Shaw and everything. And we got the power huddle again from Courtney Rush and Jessica, which was really good. It's just 3 people who've had enough of Giselle Shaw, Jay Vidal, and Savannah Evans, and it's going to be a really good match. Really good match.
I think it is. I think it's going to be fun. I love the whole. Too. I love the shorter Raj. I love the shorter Raj. I think it's a cool thing. So I think it's going to be good. I think it'd be a good match to kick off the countdown show. We then go into, and I actually think that the Jodie and the Death Dolls are going to win. But there you go. That's my take on that one. All right. So the DMC title match is Joe Hendry versus Kenny King. Again, Joe Hendry to retain on this one, but. I quite like the way they've sort of kind of built this one up.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
What are your thoughts on this one, Joe? Get it off mute. You've got to take it off mute.
And then now a soundbite just played, and then like 2 seconds later, it was still on mute. So anyhow, I'm also just not press the soundbites for the rest of the recording, or else we're not going to get anywhere. Anyway,
thoughts on Joe Hendry, Kenny King.
I think that they've built this up brilliantly since Kenny King's has been out trying to make a name for himself and said that I'm not interested in any other title. He wants to make the Digital Media Championship stand out and be something. Although Joe Hendry's done an amazing job in doing that already, so Kenny King's played that down as perfectly as he can do. Mm-hmm. This match is going to be really good, and it's another match that's going to grab your attention if you're watching the build up, and hopefully get you to want to stick around and watch the whole event. So they've got 2 perfect matches to kick off the whole night with.
I think so too. However, I sort of kind of semi-agree a little bit with Armin there in the chat, who's saying that maybe the digital media title is not getting enough attention, should possibly be on the main show. I don't know. It's nice to give that sort of a title match, and if you think about it, it's the only title match you could really give on the countdown. So I think it's quite nice.
It would have been that or the Knockouts tag team titles. I mean, the Knockouts tag team titles have been on the pre-show for pretty much most of the last year.
Yeah, so it's nice to have something different on there, I guess, for a while. Definitely. Yeah. David Gibson's saying he thinks Joe Hendry's going to lose. You never know, he may do. People are saying they think Joe's outgrown the belt. I don't know. I think he's making it pretty good, doing a good job of it.
Yeah, he's like a fine wine. It just gets better the longer he has it.
Yeah. And also, we've got Antonio Baker in the chat. He's saying that Impact need an upper mid-card title like the US title or maybe a European Championship. I'd love to see something like a European Championship, but the problem is, mate, I think you need to have lots of European wrestlers. We don't really have that. The idea of an American or a Canadian winning a European title doesn't sit well with me. So, it would have to be someone like Joe Hendry that win it. But you need to have more than sort of 3 or 4, or 2 or 3, European wrestlers.
The thing about every belt in Impact Wrestling, though, I read a recent article on this too. Is someone who has they said that, and they said exactly what I was thinking, that every title in Impact Wrestling, it actually matters.
It means something.
It means something, and they actually matter. That it's not a belt that's just there to give someone a strap. They all actually have a purpose, and they all actually have a meaning. When you look at companies like WWE and AEW, they've got like 6 or 7 titles that most of them don't mean anything anymore, or in AEW's case, never meant anything to begin with.
No, exactly, because they've got no lineage. But okay, no, I totally get that, and I'm down with Slowpoke there as well. I think there's enough titles, but like I said, if you're going to introduce someone like a European title, then you need to have some European talent to be able to go for it. So who knows? Maybe something like that will come in the future. But I'm quite happy with what they've got at the moment, and I don't think they need another title. I think it's working well. You could say that the digital media one is sort of kind of like your mid card title, can't you? Really?
Yeah.
But there you go. So moving on to Slam itself, we got no idea on the order. Okay, so I don't know whether this is going to be opening match or not, but we've got the Knockouts Tag Team title match, which is the Coven versus Masha and Killer Kelly. This is going to be amazing. What are your thoughts on this one, Joe? I'm really looking forward to this.
I'm looking forward to this. This match is going to be amazing. I think Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich they won me over from day one, but now that we know that they're a tag team, I've just been sat here waiting for this match to come, and I think I'll probably end up watching it twice before I end up watching the rest of the event because it's come back. I'm looking forward to it that much.
Right. So Mirla, Slam Killers, I like it. They could be the new Knockouts champions, tag champions. I don't know. I'm going to go with the Coven on this one, but yeah, you never know. I think they could be. What do you think, Joe?
I think the Coven are going to retain, but only because they're holding it off until we get Havoc and Rosemary back.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Coven are going to retain until we get Havoc and Rosemary back. They're going to stay Knockouts Tag Team Champions.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Okay, then we move on. We've got the number one contender Ultimate X match. So we've got Bailey versus Gresham, Kushida, Angels, and Kevin Knight. What can I say?
Wow.
You've got
a lineup.
I mean, you've got like 5 absolute badass wrestlers in a number one contender Ultimate X match. I think the winner of this match is going to be Angels, but who knows? I mean, that's going to be a hell of a match as well, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, for me, that they've got a fantastic lineup for this match. I think they couldn't have picked any other better stars because they're all so different from each other as well, which is a really good thing to see. But that's just what the X Division is about, really. Is the island of misfit toys, and they're just amazingly fantastic misfits.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I can see it's going to be Gresham or Angels that win, and if it's not either of them, I hope it's Mike Bailey, because I would love to see Mike Bailey just go in, get the X Division title, go for Option C, and then go after Alex Shelley, because I would love to see them square off against each other. But Angels, I think, is the most likely guy to win it, because he said to Dean, "I don't need you to be a success," and so if he goes and gets the Ultimate X match won, he's just gone and proved it. Because if he fails, then Dina can rub that in his face.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so again, I'm going Angels. You're going.
I'm stuck between Angels and Gresham, but I will pick Angels as the most likely one.
Fair enough. We then got Settle the Score match, and that's obviously Kazarian with his beautiful wife Tracy Brooks in his corner versus Edwards and his lovely wife Alicia in the corner. Is this going to be like the end of this, do you think? Or do we think we're going to get more? I still think somehow this is leading to Kazarian and Tracy Brooks versus Edwards and Alicia Edwards. I still believe that that's coming. But I'm going to go with a Kazarian win on this one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the end of Kazarian versus Edwards, but Alicia's not going to take it. Eddie losing likely, and she's going to really be the one that drags this rivalry on now. Well, I think I'm pretty sure even Eddie's happy to let the rivalry die after this match is over. Although Kazarian did make things a bit personal when he confronted him. It was like an honest, innocent mistake. Kazarian took it a bit too far. But yeah, I think it's going to build towards a mixed tag team match, which I hope we do get, because the one that Alessia and Eddie had versus Davey and Angelina Love was fantastic, and one of the best matches that I saw when I started watching TNA. So I'm really looking forward to where this match goes. But I think Kazarian's going to win this match simply because he's the more over guy, and he's Frankie Kazarian.
I think so. Yeah, I think Kaz is going to win it as well. So we're on the same page on this one, Joe. We're on the same page.
Yeah, I'm an Eddie guy, but I'm going to go with Frankie Kazarian.
Fair enough. So we've got Impact World Tag Team Champions. We've Championship. We've got ABC, obviously the champions. Ace and Bay versus Moose Myers versus Swan Callahan versus Subculture. And possibly... sorry about that. And possibly after tomorrow, we could be seeing the Rascals in this as well. Now, considering that, Trey Miguel's not on the card, I think we could safely say that that's a safe bet. That we get the Rascals added to this one.
Yeah, it's going to be some foul play, and Zachary mentions he's going to get the pin on Chris Bay.
I think so too. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we know it's not Myron Reed, but who knows? Maybe they could get in at Slammiversary, and then Myron Reed turns up to help them win the World Tag Titles.
Yeah.
Hey, how about that? I don't know.
That'll be interesting.
But I'm looking forward to this one. I think this is going to be great. I mean, we've got some fantastic talent on display. I mean, to be fair, you've got what? 1, 2, you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, possibly 10 of the best Impact talent have to offer on display in this World Tag Team Championship matchup. Some great talent in here. Great talent. Who's that? Is that Sammy?
That's Sammy, yeah. Honking like a fanny.
There you go. So it's going to be interesting how this one pans out. But I'm going to go ABC retain. However, if the Rascals end up in this, I have a funny feeling we could see the Rascals win with a little bit of an assist from brother Myron Reed. But there you go. We then got the X Division Championship, and that is that's now going to be Chris Sabin versus Leo Rush. The trouble is, Chris has only just sort of won it, really, so I can't see him losing it yet. However, I would like to see Leo Rush. I would. I'd really like to see Leo Rush win the X Division title and go on a nice run, because he's incredible.
I think Leo Rush has got this one. I read an article about Chris Sabin as well over the last couple of days. Sabin is working as a talent scout as well as in the ring and backstage as a producer. And once he's finished in Impact Wrestling, he's looking to go on and stay on as a talent scout and in that area. So I think Leo Rush is going to win this, and that's going to get him signed to Impact Wrestling. It's definitely for the next 6 or 7 months at least. Yeah,
come on, Leo needs to sign for at least a year, at least.
Yeah, but that's like how it usually starts. They get signed for like 6 or 7 months, and then they get the full thing. But Leo Rush has got that much of a star power. I'm pretty sure even Chris Sabin's going to be pushing for get him on for a couple of years. But that's the kind of mindset that Chris Sabin has. He knows talent when he sees it. So for him to
he does.
For him to even demand that Leo Rush gets this match, rather than Leo Rush demand go to someone and say, I want this match. Chris Sabin demanded that he faces Leo Rush at Slammiversary. I saw his promo after he got attacked on Impact Plus as well. He just went ballistic and said, "Right, I don't like guys jumping the key for the X Division title, but I want you at Slammiversary for this title to see how good you really are."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's either way, right? You've got the X Division legend versus the future of you could say the future of this kind of X style wrestling, which is what Chris is all about. He's all about that side of things. But then I would say that Trey Miguel was just as much the future of the X division as anybody else.
Trey Miguel and Josh Alexander redefined the X division. From both of their runs as X division champion, they redefined it completely.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so following that, we've then got the Scott D'Amore in-ring return. So we got Bully Ray Dina versus Scott and a partner. Now the question, obviously, we've got Darren McCarthy as the guest ref enforcer or guest enforcer. But the question is, after this past week on Impact Wrestling, will PCO be his partner or will it be somebody else? I'm saying Eric Young, 100% Eric Young.
I'm hoping that PCO or PCO comes up during mid match and then just takes over whoever is Scott D'Amore's partner and just goes back and takes his spot there. That would be a great twist and everything. But the way they writ him off last week was so brutal. That was they poured battery acid down him and then set him on fire. that was really
insane. It was an insane moment. It's to be fair, it's one of those moments now that you sort of kind of expect to happen on an episode of Impact Wrestling. This is just normal Impact Wrestling.
It was still like, oh my god, they actually went that far, But this was like 2 or 3 years ago, people would have been saying, "Oh, this is ridiculous." They would never do something like that.
It's true. Can I just quickly highlight Barry Monkey 99 there? Brian Pillman Jr. He's Canadian. He's Canadian.
He left AEW,
and he's recently finished up with AEW.
Yeah. So if he could come in, that would be fantastic too. Because I did a bit of Davey Boy
Smith as well. Who knows? So we could be seeing a brand new Team Canada. I mean, Scott has been wearing his sort of red, Canada shirt and everything. Red. So there is definitely there's definitely some sort of kind of Easter eggs being and some things being placed in people's brains to think that that's what's coming. So whatever it is, they're Canadian. Can you imagine actually Scott D'Amore leading Eric Young, Brian Pillman, Davey Boy Smith, Josh Alexander?
That would be incredible. They just need a woman on that team too. And
what a stable! Well, that could be any of them. Really?
And Jody Threat as well.
Oh yeah, Jody Threat. That would be great.
Then you've got an absolute unstoppable force.
Yeah, I like it. I like that. I'm down with that. Come on, Scott. I hope you're watching the show. We've then got the Knockouts World Title, which is obviously Deonna Purrazzo versus Trinity. A lot of people are touting this is the real main event. I think this is going to be a real head turner. I think it's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah,
I think both ladies have clearly got chemistry. I think the audience are going to go absolutely insane for Glow, for Trinity when she comes out. But I think the crowd's going to be very divided because Deonna Purrazzo is very popular. She is a great champion. But we'll certainly find out whether Trinity's sticking around for a while if she wins. And I know that she has been advertised for shows leading right into October, I believe, or certainly the end of August, September time, around then. So she's definitely going to be around for a little while longer than Slammiversary, which is great. There you go. Like Mia agrees, the Knockouts title is the main event. It was made official yesterday. Well, there you go. So that is the main event. It doesn't say that on the website, however. Maybe it's a joint main event.
It'll probably be put last on the whole card, though. I think it really should be. This will be the 3rd or 4th time Deonna Purrazzo has headlined a pay-per-view as well, or an event, a big event, more about like a monthly special in Impact Wrestling. So that's a huge merit to just how much they're invested in Deonna Purrazzo. So if she loses
Trinity.
And Trinity. But even if Deonna Purrazzo loses this, she's headlined at least 4 big events, and I think at least 2 of them have been pay-per-views now. One was Hard to Kill with Mickie James, I think it was, and and then this one. So it's just insane. And
Antonio, that's a very interesting thing. I mean, I don't think she's. I think Deanna's pretty good on the mic, to be fair. However, I could see her, having like someone like Enzo, like managing her. I could see that because he is the mouth of the Jersey Surf, isn't he? To be fair, so it would be interesting. Okay, so we've also then got the Impact World Title main, which I thought was a main event, but maybe it's like I say, the the second from main event possibly. Alex Shelley versus Nick Aldis. I think that as much as people are like, oh, it should have been Steve Macklin, blah blah blah. I still think this will probably be a pretty solid match, even though it features Nick Grass growing Aldis. As well. I still think it'll be a pretty solid match because at the end of the day, if you can't have a decent solid match with Alex Shelley, who can you have a decent solid match with?
Yeah, and he's a fantastic wrestler. It's just, so this is going to be another technical masterclass, and a really good really good main event match, and it's just a decent match for anyone who wants to see the wrestling in Impact Wrestling, because these guys are they know each other pretty well too. So it's going to be an interesting match, and I think if Aldis wins this, then Macklin's going to be going for him. So then that brings the whole Nick Aldis and Steve Macklin that's been chucked out for a couple of weeks back into the fold again. So it's Impact Wrestling once again, looping back on long-term storytelling and things that they do good there.
I still think Alex is going to win, mate. You can't take it off.
Yeah,
I think Alex Shelley's going to retain.
Yeah. I think Alex Shelley's going to retain. But if Nick Aldis does win, or even if he doesn't win, this then puts Steve Macklin back on up against Nick Aldis to go back for the world title, even if he lost against Alex Shelley. He's still technically, he's still like third in line for the title until Josh Alexander comes back, and seeing his PCO has been knocked out.
Yep.
Yep.
There you go. Yep. So I like the fact that somebody like, oh, I totally forgot that Shelley and Aldis was even on the card, but there you go. So we've got a digital media exclusive match this week. Josh Alexander versus Blake Christian. It's WSW in Australia. Third week running, we've had Josh Alexander in the digital media exclusive.
He's going to be at Slammiversary. One way or another, he's going to be at Slammiversary. If it's during Scott's Dewars match, or if it's going to be after the main event with Aldis and Shelley, I know. Or even if we get like a video package just to tease he's coming back, we're going to get something about Josh Alexander returning, and I'm really looking forward to it because it's been so.
I think so. We've missed him.
I've missed him so much since the whole circumstance of his injury was just horrible timing. It was just it was just heartbreaking.
Because he was on such a roll. He was on such a roll at that point. There's someone we haven't spoke about in a while, Hardcore Country. Is she going to turn up at Slammiversary and start challenging Deanna and Trinity? Hey, who knows? That could be interesting. Right, so the BTI match this week. Dirty Dango versus Heath. Of course, Heath interjected himself in the BTI match last week. I quite like the fact that this is going to be on BTI, but because it's almost like they're continuing a continuation of a story from a BTI match to the following week on BTI. So not only are we now getting these sort of kind of exclusive matches, these extra matchups, we're also getting almost a continuation in storytelling from BTI to BTI now as well, which is interesting. I think this is going to be great. Looking forward to it, really am. I think it's going to be a good match. What are your thoughts on this one?
I'm looking forward to seeing this. I'm looking forward to seeing Heath beat the shit out of Dango, because Heath gave that promo a couple of weeks ago that he's ready to put the whole roster on notice that he is, he's now in it for himself. Rhino's gone. He's tried to be Mr. Nice Guy, and he'll stick up for anyone, but he's now in it looking up for himself. So then taking on Dirty Dango, who's just been disrespecting everyone, is pretty much continuing on where Heath left after when he went up against Moose. You know, he had enough of Moose putting everyone down and shitting on everybody. He just stood up to Moose and got a world title match and did a pretty decent job in challenging for it, seeing as it was almost out of nowhere.
Exactly that. Yeah, totally agree. So I think it's going to be an absolute cracker. So I'm looking forward to that. We then have advertised the following for Impact Wrestling tomorrow night, which is obviously the go home show to Slammiversary on Saturday. So we've got Deanna Prazo's issued an open challenge. Now this is interesting because, you know, I haven't heard anything. So, you know, who do we think could be turning up? Who do we think could be taking on the challenge? I think it could possibly be, you know, someone like, I don't know, maybe a Jodie Threat comes running out, or, you know, someone on those sort of lines to you know, to face up to Deanna on this one. Or maybe this could be, you know, where someone like, I don't know, it's not going to be Masha. You know, maybe Kylan King comes out and has a crack. I don't know. I just think that I think it's probably more likely to be one of the younger talents on the roster to come out and face Deanna. Get her to have a nice emphatic win to make her look strong going into Slammiversary. That's what I can see happening here. We've also got Moose Myers versus Swan and Callahan. Obviously, both these teams are going to be in the Tag Team Championship match at Slammiversary. Should be pretty good. We've also got Zachary Wentz from the Rascals taking on Chris Bay from ABC Tag Champs. If Zachary Wentz beats Bay, the Rascals get inserted into the match at Slammiversary. I'm assuming that by hook or by crook, Zachary Wentz is going to beat Chris Bay to be inserted into that match. I'm pretty sure. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, well, I said it earlier that there's going to be some foul play and Wentz is going to get the win in this match to get the Rascals in. But it's going to be a banger, this match. You know, Chris Bay is improved so much over the last year. You know, even in singles competition, since he's done with Ace Austin, there's a new aura about him. He's just so impressive. And Wentz was on fire when he came in for that shot. You know, I've seen what Wentz has done at Wrestling Revolver. He looks incredible, and he's in incredible shape as well. So it's going to be really great to see these two. I'm really looking forward to this match.
Definitely. And Anthony's just mentioned that in the press pass yesterday, Trinity was definitely talking about staying a lot longer than originally expected. She's obviously enjoying herself.
Yeah, it's fun. That's good to see. It's good to know that she's found something that she's happy with.
Yup. She's happy, which is good. We've then got Kevin Knight versus Mike Bailey tomorrow night.
That's going to be good. That's going to be really good.
That's going to be fast. It's going to be furious. It's going to be athletic. It's going to be a good match. We've also got Joe Hendry and Yuya Uemura versus Kenny King and Sheldon Jean. Another tag match, but again, I think this is going to be cracking. I love the backstage segment they did last week with Yuya.
That was brilliant. How do you say champion in Japanese?
Champion.
I
thought it was brilliant. I thought that was a good segment, and I'm looking forward to this match. I think this is going to be really good. I like to see, you know, young talents like Yuya and Sheldon Jean getting chance to work with more established wrestlers like Kenny King and Joe Hendry. I really like it. I think it's a good way to do things. Gives them that experience. Gets you know, working with these sort of guys. I think it's really good. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for tomorrow night go home show. I think it's going to be great. Slammiversary Saturday night is going to be pucker. Some great stuff in there. Happy birthday for Friday for Courtney. Apparently it's going to be her thing.
Happy birthday.
Going to be a birthday on Friday. So happy birthday to Courtney, a long time fan of the TNI-UK team. So we appreciate that as well, Courtney. So happy birthday to you, lovely. But guys, I think that's just about all we've got time for. this week. But don't forget to tune in to the TNI Impact Review Show tomorrow night, live on YouTube and Twitch, directly after Impact is aired on Access TV and the Fight Network in Canada. And, of course, Impact Plus YouTube Insiders and DAZN. So you can see it anywhere. It's like, you know what I mean? There's no reason why you can't watch Impact Wrestling. Please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up, and of course join the Discord where we pretty much talk about everything Impact Wrestling and generally wrestling, movies, sports, anything you could think of, we talk about there. All TNI shows are available to all you on the listen on the go fans, audio only, via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you list your favorite shows. We are there. Where can we find you on the socials, Joe?
You can follow me on Twitter at JOKEmptySpace. You can jump onto Facebook or Twitter, look for #EmptySpace, #IntoTheVoid. Or if you fancy to take your taste buds and your sense of humor, look for #DailyGiggle. But approach it with an open mind and you just might keep your sanity.
Which is tough. I tell you, you want to try working with this guy. Right, keeping your sanity is not easy, all right? Trust me. And if you're interested in finding out a little bit more on the Lord Bison himself, go and check me out on the Twitter sphere at Lord Bison 45. Pretty much where I do me wrestling talk on there, out of the way, so, I don't chalk it all up on every other aspect of my life. I just try and keep it to Twitter. And of course, TNI, TNI, of course. But guys, listen, this is really important. Really, really important. Please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. Do it now without even thinking about it. It takes no time at all to just literally click on that button, on that thumbs up button. It really helps us a lot with the algorithms. Gets us seen by more and more people. So it's a big thing. Really helps us out. If you're new to the channel or you're new to the show and you like what you hear, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. And don't forget to give the bell a tickle, a squeeze, or a smash to never miss any of the great content coming out from TNI UK and the US teams each and every single week. With all that said, I've been your host, Bison, and he's been, we're going to go that, no, hang on, let's start this side. He's been the incredible Joker, and this has been number 141 of Impacted. Take care, guys.
We're Impacted! We are Impacted!